Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast for your mental health, the Stay of Mind podcast. So, for this episode, we have me and Cheryl and Nigel as hosts, and we have our very special guest.
Chicken Nugget.
Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
You want to tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Hi. I'm
Chicken Nugget.
just Jenna's classmate. Her friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, a little backstory: she is in my class, and me and Cheryl, we know her outside of the podcast, but Nigel just met her today.
No, actually it
No.
wasn't today.
Oh
I
yeah, no,
taught him how to play the kazoo.
right.
He is my master.
I sold Nigel a kazoo, which I bought from Singway. So yeah. And
Yes.
Changchu is here taking notes. Yep. Okay. So starting off with our first question for
Chicken Nugget.
how was your promos? Today is Tuesday, 12th of October when we are recording this, and we have just received back some of our, promo papers. So how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, today is a very eventful day for me.
How is it eventful?
It was an emotional roller coaster for me. I felt that I got 3 papers back today.
Mm-hmm.
The first was GP. It was a little tap on my face, just a little tap. And then came the chem paper. It was a slap on my left cheek.
Mm-hmm.
It was painful a little bit, but I said it's okay. I have other papers. And then came bio.
The final blow.
It was very painful, I would like to say. It was like a double slap on my face. And it was very saddening.
All right. Other host, Cheryl, Nigel, do you have anything about like a promos that you want to share about?
I mean, like, for me, it mix of both disappointment and cause I basically anticipated what I got today, not because of like what I expected of myself after studying, but the expectations I could set it up the immediate moment I finished those papers. I was like, I think those questions left blank would cause a huge reduction in marks.
Right. Cheryl?
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of us have the same feelings about how we would score for our pros
Mm-hmm.
or like our exams, like when we're studying or like when we're doing our paper or like we just finished our paper. Yeah, we kind of like expect like what our marks would be, and then of course like sometimes you study like we study like very hard, and then like our results don't show how hard we've worked, but it's okay because there's like purpose isn't really like it doesn't really determine who we are or like what value we have, but and like the most important exam is still A levels, which is like next year. So yes, we can all work hard together.
Yes, well said. But like I feel like a lot of people will like get affected over like our promos, our marks, and
Definitely.
sometimes it might be detrimental to even their mental health, which is our topic for this podcast. So today we'll be talking about our mental health and the different aspects of mental health and how it affects us. And
Chicken Nugget.
our guests may share some experience and stories. If our other hosts also have some, we will just share some of our own experiences. But by no means is our opinions right and all. It's just our opinions. And if you are really suffering from any mental health symptoms, please do seek a professional. We are not professionals in any ways. Thank you. All right. So, open to the floor. Do you think that, your studies have affected your mental health? Like, especially these few years? with the pressure and everything. Yes.
Chicken nugget.
I feel like I've gone through a lot of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
It goes way back to secondary school. That of my journey, my studies. In terms of mental health and studies, when I reach different stages in life, right? Like the transition between PSLE, secondary school, a very big change, right?
Mm.
And when I first didn't do well, when I say do well, I mean get a C or B, like the like lower side. I was already very discouraged,
Mm.
and I thought it wouldn't affect me as much, but it kind of grew on me that I started adopting my capabilities and my potential. Started adopting the people around me that are encouraging me. And then slowly when lower side transition to upper side, where it gets real bad. I remember in Sec 3, my MYE for bio was the one that hit me the hardest. I got a 5 out of 40 for the test. The first time I saw a single digit for an exam, that I was so shocked that I couldn't cry.
Mm.
Yes. And I think from then onwards throughout the year, uh, it just spiraled down where like I just started to kind of give up on studying. And at the end of Sec 3, I ended up not doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But somehow something happened in the fall that, yes.
Encouraged you to.
Yeah, because I can talk about it later, but from secondary school to JC, it's, I thought I thought I have gone down the deepest, but no. JC, oh man, I
JC is a
started
different beast, man.
failing a lot of papers,
Mm-hmm.
but at like my CAs and MYAs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I hear from a lot of people that it's normal, but now that promos, I receive my results. Um, like I said earlier, it wasn't ideal. It wasn't very good, right? Yeah, I did broke down today.
I think a lot of students, especially nowadays, put a lot of emphasis on like their grade, and like if they don't do well, it really really affects them as a person and to their mental health. Would you like say so? Like, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with what you just said. Um, in and I like to say right, in for my case, my parents are not putting pressure on me. They don't really expect that much from me because they know that I put in effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, as much as a lot of people would tell me that, oh, exams don't define you, or exams are just a milestone in life. 10 years down the road, you won't look down. Yes, that classic 10 years down the road, you look back and nothing is nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But right at the moment, it's really hard to say that. Like it's easier said than done, and I feel that as much as we know that it's not the end of the world, it does affect our confidence and our self-esteem.
All right.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm fortunate in the sense that I don't have people that like other factors that pressure me.
Mm.
Whereas I know in Singapore, like the culture itself, where there's a lot of strict parents that will put a lot of pressure on their child.
Mm-hmm. The demanding
Right.
parents, right? Like the
Yeah.
always parents. Yeah. Sharon, Nigel, do you have anything you want to add?
I think strict parents thing definitely still still quite still quite prevalent. I remember got this one classmate back in primary school. Like he from math, he was like top of the class,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was like, I didn't get full marks. I'm gonna die when I go home. Wow.
It's a primary school student.
Or
it's
like
quite
the
insane.
recent PSLE thing.
The recent PSLE thing.
Yeah,
Mm,
like a lot of students come back home crying, parents saying the math paper is tough.
mm. But I feel that every year it's like recurring. And I feel that the root problem is not about the math paper being difficult, but more so of the amount of pressure that parents and these 12-year-old kids put on themselves over their studies, which, if you ask me, I think is pretty unhealthy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like since a very young age, many people, are like pressurized to do well in academics, maybe even in extracurriculum, and like they have to excel in everything. I feel like that would like burn people out. Like it's really tiring to keep up with that. Yeah.
But say it's quite expected for PSLB, or like even if people say, oh, it's just a milestone, right? But sometimes they don't really help quell the like stress you experience having to take the PSLB, because they say what they after they say, oh, it's just a small milestone. They say because you've also got A levels. That doesn't exaggeration much. And even even if the kid is like being told constantly like, hey, like you don't need to put that much stress on the knowledge that it's a national exam, right? And how the PSI is carried out, it doesn't really help to de-stress them at all. Like, think about it, they're just walking in this big exam hall with a whole bunch of other students. You need permission to go to the toilet. It's dead silent. Everything, your entire atmosphere is saying you should be stressed out right now.
Right, right. And that also carries over to like O levels and, A levels. They're both also national exams, which,
Chicken nugget.
to O levels, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, O levels.
How was it?
Oh, all right. I need to explain the big brain of SEAB. For some reasons, right? The O level is over a span of a few weeks, right?
Mm,
For some reasons, the first week, they decided to put math first. Like E-math will be the kicker, the start, right?
mhm,
And then they'll have the English paper, like paper one and paper two, and
right.
then um, the listening comprehension. And I like to just put a small story. My O-level English listening comprehension was the hardest listening comprehension I have ever taken in my life. I'm not joking. Everyone was very confused. There was grass cutting and everything. It was a nightmare.
Right.
But what was the actual nightmare was what I would like to call the hell week, which is the second week of O-level papers, right? So get this. They decided to put chemistry with geography.
Amazing.
And it gets better.
Mhm.
There is bio with history. Why? Why? Why do SEV do this? It
The content heavy subjects on the same day.
if they can put listening comprehension on the same day, if they can on one day, if they can put math paper one on one day, why can't they separate? I don't I'm sorry, I don't, the logic doesn't add up.
Right. So like the examination boards do not even like help with how like students cope with
Yeah, like
studying.
there's A math with social studies.
That's
That's not
ridiculous.
very bad, but it's not good either.
I feel like the students are trying their best to, study hard, but like having those like kind of heavy subjects on the same day. Talk about like killer
Okay.
healthy.
Like I have friends because I took triple science back in secondary school with a elect geog, right?
Mm.
I have friends that they elect history.
Oh.
So they had to weigh their factors.
Mm.
Most of them chose to give up on bio and just study history,
Uh,
which I feel a bit saddening because like when it comes to exams, right, like national exams, right, it's true that you want to play with your strengths, but what if they want to pursue a bio-related course in poly? What if they want to take a a science stream in JC with bio as one of the subjects? But if they don't do well for bio, it's conflicting.
Yeah,
It's
they
very
tend to.
conflicting.
Right. It's like we know that like in order to keep like more doors open and more opportunities, you have to like do well in like more subjects, right? And not like especially during national exams, you cannot just like focus on like your strength. Yeah. So like that really pressurized students.
Yeah, I would
The
say.
stress levels are really high.
Or at least it did get to me as well.
Ah,
Yeah.
right. So talking about academics, another factor that might affect people's mental health is socializing with people. So have any of you guys like experienced any personal like mental health like detrimental events to your mental health, or like seeing your friend have them?
I don't think I have any like experiences with this.
mm,
Kind of do.
would you like to share
What's your question again? I'm so sorry.
like like socializing with other people? Has it any event like affected your mental health because of like interactions with people?
Well,
Maybe
mine
seeing
is more
friends.
of not socializing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, to be more specific, my secondary school journey wasn't very smooth per se.
mm,
I didn't have a lot of friends, and so all my friends out there from secondary school, I'm sorry, but we have to agree that I was legit ostracized back in secondary school.
mm,
Mm. Like I didn't see it as bullying at first.
mm,
Then I learned that there's different types of bullying, right? There's physical, there's verbal, there's social, and cyber, right? The bad guy.
mm.
I started feeling very lonely when I was being ostracized. I thought bullying was something that didn't exist until I reached that stage. It's kind of sad because when people have their friend groups or their group of friends, right? And whenever like teachers ask for the class to get into groups to do like any projects,
Mm.
pair work, right? What will happen is that I'll be left out and that I have to force myself into a group, which then I remember the disgust in their faces, which was quite sad. And there's other in this incidents where it's a pair work, right?
Mm.
And so my the WhatsApp class, it was a odd number of girls and odd number of guys. So there was this other guy that was also being ostracized as well by the class because he was seen as weird, per se.
Mm.
There was this project that we have to work on in pairs. No, sorry. It was an even number of girls and even number of guys. Yes, not bad. But that that one girl would rather pair up with a guy than pair up with me. They weren't even close friends. That's how much it hurt. And me and that other guy that was left behind,
Mm.
we just agreed to do a pair work on our own separately.
Ah,
Did any teachers do anything about it? They just no, they just went along with it. Yeah.
that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, but it actually gets worse.
Ah, oh no.
Oh,
Yeah, it gets worse. Where
Oh,
but that's a whole other thing. But I like to say, right, during that small period of time, that 2 years, I really felt alone. As much as I will acknowledge that I have friends in my CC, or like I have some friends that I could talk to.
Mm.
But in reality, I was pretty much alone. I was never part of their friend group or anything. I was just someone they could talk to.
Mm.
So it was very conflicting because like as much as there were people surrounding me, I felt alone,
Mm.
which started to get to me. So I was a bit upset. I was wondering why things are happening. And sooner or later, I just accepted it. I just accepted that, hey, I'm a loner. And I found many reasons that I think, if I say it now, right, I think like Junelle would disagree.
Yeah, I would disagree.
But some things can be like, oh, I'm just a burden. Or, oh, I'm just someone extra that, like, even if I don't exist, it doesn't matter. And that's where it escalates down.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in like a school environment where socializing is really important, like you can see all the clusters, like your cliques, your groups. It's a very social place, and if you know, it's like not your fault even if you're left out. It's not because like you did anything wrong. It's just because the way of how the environment is like you have done nothing wrong, but it's just how other people treat you. It's like pretty.
Or just how other people see you. Honestly,
Yeah.
I do agree that I was pretty weird, but I wish that I was given the opportunity to have other people know who I am and
Mm-mm.
accept who I am.
Like people
Yeah.
judge you before they
And I
even get to
think
know
what
you.
is worse is that
Mm-hmm.
when you feel that you are the weird person, right, you will try to fit in.
Mm.
And the more you try to fit in, the more weird,
Because it's
apparently.
because it's unnatural
Because
to
you're trying too hard.
yeah. Because everyone tells you, oh, you should be yourself around like other people. But honestly, in like, school is a micro like society. It's like our society but small, and our society like honestly we have to follow societal rules. So naturally you want to fit in, but sometimes you just don't, especially to like the norms or like the mold that they have created. So like I think it would affect you, especially if this because of your personality that other people treat you differently.
Yes.
Nigel, Cheryl.
Uh, yeah, I've really been ostracized myself. I've seen other people get ostracized too, both in primary school and in
Mm,
secondary school. And I must say, somehow yeah, I honestly felt like primary school ostracization was somehow worse than the secondary school one.
mm,
But I don't think I can really speak up for those people who are ostracized, cause I don't really know how they actually feel about the situation.
mm,
But like just sitting by and seeing it happen, like quite quite painful. Just even watching. And like I feel that sometimes like some people just feel pressured to join the ostracization because they themselves also are afraid of being left out.
Mhm.
So it's like quite how I say, also don't know how to say.
mm,
I had this talk with a friend of mine that we are friends since primary school,
mm.
but we went to the same secondary school and same class, right, for 9 years, and wow.
Wow.
But mm, she found her group of friends.
Right.
So I think we had one argument before because it was a primary school reunion. And I said that I'm actually not doing very well in terms of my social life. And then she was looking at me like, what the heck? I was here all along, but buddy, with your group of friends, but I understand where she's coming from.
Mm,
And then again, I think I had a talk with her about how things should highlight, right?
mm,
And then she apologized to me that, she couldn't really be there for me.
mm,
It's honestly, when it comes to being ostracized and everything, right? being the weird kid, right? I understand why there won't be anyone that will approach me voluntarily because it's like people will start questioning why are you hanging out with the weird kid?
Mm.
That's that pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people are really quick to judge, especially I think during like secondary school, JC, like a lot of people are like trying to fit in, trying to figure out themselves, and then they might follow what other people think is
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, people get influenced very
Mm.
easily.
Very easy. Yeah. And sometimes like the people that they are hurting, they don't know that they are hurting them. Like maybe not intentionally.
yeah, because to them they're just leaving this person alone. They're
Right.
not doing any harm.
But
But
that in
by
itself,
not doing anything,
yeah,
it's harm.
it's
It's
harming
pain.
harming their mental well-being. It's not physical hurt, more of the emotional hurt, which I find worse than if you just physically abuse them.
Mm.
Because I'm pretty sure like emotional scars to your like mental health is worse than actual scars, right?
Because
So
actual scars you can heal.
mm,
You
yeah.
can cover with bandages. But what goes in your mind stays in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's your experience. That's your experience. You can't go back to the past and change it.
Yeah. So like now knowing what had happened, what is like some stuff you wished you knew earlier, like when you were in that situation or something.
Hmm. I think I would tell my past self that it is okay to be alone. Which I think this will be it'll spark a debate. You should whether it is okay to be alone because uh social support is very important. I
It
like to
is.
emphasize that it's very important. And yeah, I really wish that I knew that I shouldn't try to fit in so much. And I should be true to myself. Because
Right.
I once had this talk with another friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
She once told me that I was fake.
Ah.
And it's like, why? I'm like, I don't lie to people. I treat people genuinely. Why am I fake? And she told me something I remember. It's something I remember. You're not being true to yourself.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm. And I
Mm-hmm.
think because of that, I actually end up losing that friend. But
Ah.
yeah.
So another thing is like I think friendships also place pressure on like you socializing, yeah, on people's mental health, especially in schools. Yes. So if like people are having like low self-esteem, no confidence, or like you know depression, anxieties, like social anxiety, like what would you like give advice to them?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Mm. Well, the common answer would be that you should seek help
Mm,
and blah blah blah. Go see a counselor, talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, talk to
mm.
your friends. But sometimes it can really be not. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to reach
It's
out.
hard. It's hard to reach out. And sometimes people might be scared. People might be lost about what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, for me at that point in time, I was a bit lost and a bit scared as well. I was wondering why I was feeling or whether it was normal. For me, what helped was understanding myself more,
Mm,
taking time to really process and think about and reflect on life in general. Because, and I think one thing that's very important is to take things one at a time.
mm-hmm.
Because, let's say for us students, right, we have so many commitments, we have CCA commitments, we have our academics, and then we are pressurized by so socializing with other people, and then we are dealing with um, a mental illness.
Right.
I'll say really, it's very important to really take a step back and prioritize your mental health and wellness, and really think and reflect about why. Like just slowly calm down and break it down why you're feeling this way.
Mm.
And then you can talk to someone that you trust. And it doesn't have to necessarily have to be someone of a higher hierarchy per se, like your parents
Or like a
or
teacher or
or a
counselor.
teacher or a counselor. Like that's like they're older than you.
Mm.
And maybe some of the advice they give, like in Chinese there's the 忠言逆耳, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So what help is to talk to someone of the same level, like friend
Because they will
or a
understand.
classmate.
Yeah.
Yes, because they are in the same position as you. And that's what I did. I talked to one of my friends. And I'm actually quite grateful that she sat down with me, talked to me, really talked to me.
I think I would tell, because I haven't been in like that kind of situation myself, but I think there's like people there for you, and there's always like light at the end of the tunnel. Just need to hang in there a little bit more. But if it is really, really bad, please do seek professional help. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good to like, have some time to yourself and like try to understand yourself and like set boundaries on like what you want in a relationship with like other people in your social circle, like how comfortable you want to be with others. Yeah, that would help a lot. Mm.
So talking about mental health, it used to be like quite a very, sensitive or like taboo topic to most people. Like, what do you think
Mm.
about this?
Okay, for taboo, right? The same thing as why uh I think talking about sometimes talking about race can be considered quite taboo as well in Singapore
Right.
because people uh they themselves have had quite quite a number of experiences beforehand. So just raising the topic, they like it opens some memories they just don't want to talk about. So they don't feel comfortable talking about it.
Right.
Uh, but I think just for the past, like in the past, don't think there was very rather there was the perception of mental health was less educated lah.
Mm-mm.
I would say sometimes people would just label it as attention seeking or
Mm.
bring things out of proportion, but over the years people find that oh wait, that really isn't the case. That's why it's so sensitive. I mean like people I think part of it's definitely just finding it embarrassing. Like,
Mm.
plus, especially if, at least from what I think, this is what I think lah. I cannot say if it's a fact, but especially if you feel like you're being like left out, then everyone else around you doesn't seem to be encountering the same problem. So in that scenario, you would think some people would think that they are the ones having the problem. Then
Mm.
ending up they they don't want to raise it because they think that they are more troublesome than others. It makes them feel embarrassed. Makes them feel like they're
A
worse than others.
burden.
Yeah. Then then because of that less discussion of mental health, then because of that it doesn't add to the whole not less educated perception on mental health.
Mm.
Then I don't know what happened now, but people were like, hey, should talk about this a little bit more. And then wow.
Like in recent years, more people, especially those who had suffered from mental health and are at the like a stage in their life where they got better, like openly talk about it more. I think
Yeah.
it does help like the situation. As more people open up, then others realize, oh wait, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who's feeling, this way. And then
Mm.
then it's, the chain reaction. More people talk about it, more people are aware about the problem, which is another reason why we started this podcast, to raise awareness, about like school issues or like mental health, especially among teenagers. I think our generation of, teenagers or like students have quite a bit of like, mental health problems.
Mm.
I think, yeah.
I like to emphasize on one point that even if you're not diagnosed,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you're not feeling okay, it is okay to talk about it.
Mm-mm.
Because I wasn't diagnosed. I wasn't diagnosed. But I was feeling like poo poo back in the days.
Yeah.
It was pretty it was really, really like horrible.
Mm.
It was pretty horrible.
You shouldn't, have to feel like that.
Yeah, you don't have to feel obliged like, oh, I'm not diagnosed, I'm like less of those people that are diagnosed and those that I need help. I'm like, oh, I'm not diagnosed, so I'm like attention seeking. No, that's not the case. Everyone will have to deal, everyone can deal with something like that in their life. It's
Different
just whether
intensity.
you go and seek help
Yeah.
for it.
Maybe in like different intensity, then maybe if yours is like less intense than
But even
others.
if it's less intense,
Mm.
doesn't mean you should receive less help
Yeah,
or less
no.
attention.
Mm. Mm.
That's
Definitely.
definitely not the case.
Mm.
And I think you said that in the past that it's a taboo, right? I would say that there is, I will acknowledge there is a change
Mm-hmm.
in whether it's stigmatized now. But what I find interesting is that, right now it's actually very common to, especially in, in our class, we can hear people say, I want to die. Oh my God, this
Right.
paper,
Right.
I'm going to go and, KMS, And then on the internet, it can be like, there'll be a lot of suicidal jokes, there'll be a lot of dark jokes.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of dark jokes, like, there can be jokes like, oh, hang in there.
Oh.
It's a joke about
Oh.
news.
Oh.
Like all those memes, right?
Mm.
But when you really sit down with someone and that person tell you, hey, I've been feeling not well recently, that I have thought about thoughts that are not that are a bit dangerous, that are not making me safe. And then you see the scars on their arms, right? Then you'll be like, whoa,
It hits
like
different.
it hits very differently, like,
Mm.
whoa, um, chicken has gone very bad.
Uh.
Like it's yeah, like it just gone down real quick. Like, and yeah, and people get stunned
Mm.
by what to do.
Right. Because they're like not equipped to, deal
Yeah,
with those situations.
and it's perfectly fine that you're not equipped with the skills like as compared to a professional, but
Mm-mm.
I feel that there are things that people can do to help and support someone.
Mm.
Mm.
But, sometimes it might be too much for that friend. So maybe the friend also can like maybe talk to like maybe like 2 or 3 friends, like close friends, very close friends, friends that you trust. Then maybe you guys can like, talk about it together. Then you guys can, support, like, you have a support system. Make sure that every one of you is okay.
Or like feels that they are not alone
Right.
on the journey. It's very important.
Mm. It's important to know that you have people who would support you regardless.
That
And
there'll be people
yeah,
there for you.
so that on your journey you won't feel that lonely and feel
Yeah,
like as helpless, because people
yeah.
are there.
And I think this will get a bit graphic. But there was one time I
Trigger
had,
warning. Trigger warning.
yeah, trigger warning, trigger warning. I'm so sorry. I had kind of suicidal thoughts. I thought that was very bad.
Mm.
Thankfully, she wasn't too alarmed by it that she ran away or something.
Mm-mm.
She wasn't too alarmed by it. But she was concern, which I felt very, very bad to this day.
I mean, like,
But
if your friend is saying that they have suicidal thoughts, you would be concerned.
you would, right? Like,
Yeah.
But what she told me was that if you can't find a reason to live for yourself, she told me to count the number of people. Okay, she first asked what I was going to do if I were to really
Mm-hmm.
do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said I'd probably go somewhere high.
Right.
She told me to count the number of people I wouldn't jump in front of. Don't make the number. And I slowly, when I tried to process and I tried to count the number of people, I realized that I am not alone. I realized that there are people that, you know, would probably be saddened if something really happened. And I think as much as people will say that you should live for yourself, yes, I agree, you should live for yourself.
Definitely, yeah.
Sometimes when it comes to the point that you have lost your sense, you know, your train of thoughts, you just lost it, right? You just feel so worthless that you feel that you're not worth living anymore. There are people that, you know, it's like, I'll say, for me, a backup plan.
Mm.
Yeah. But that was very heavy, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, like sometimes like you get so blinded by like your mental health, right?
Or your
That
own
like
emotions.
yeah, that you like don't realize that there are like people around you that actually care for you. Like yeah, so that is
Even if they're not like open for you, like maybe, support you, but in like their own way.
like they might not openly show it, but like they can like show in other ways. Like
Through their actions.
yeah,
Mm.
for me, right? Like I wouldn't say I'm ostracized, but I'm more of the quiet kind of person, like in class. So
Mm.
like in primary school, like a lot of people usually are in groups, and then like for group projects or like classwork or like group works, right? So usually like you see like people forming groups together like quickly, and then if you're like quiet person like me, so like you usually see others form groups first, and then you be like the last few to like form a group. So like that kind of like also gives you the feeling of like, oh, you're being ostracized, but not really the same. But of course, like I would still feel sad. Yeah.
They have like, they affect like your mentality in any ways? Like, has it carried over or something?
Mm, I think it makes me think that like, oh, I have less friends than other people, or I'm less popular, and then like, like sometimes I might think like, oh, I want to be like them, I want to be like close to like people, and then like have close friends, but I have friends of my own, and like, sometimes these people are like the ones who like really care for me. So like, yeah, that really helps. Because I'm those kind of people who are like better with like one-to-one
Yeah.
relationship rather than like in a clique.
Yeah, cliques are
Yeah.
scary.
That's true. And there might also be a lot of drama.
Social
Yeah.
drama.
That's
Social
very true.
anxiety. Big
Mm-hmm. So
cliques,
like,
just
yeah, so like
drama.
I'm really thankful for like those few people that I'm always close to. Like, yeah. Especially like in schools, right, we have to like change classes. So like whenever we change class, we might be like, we're foreign to like the people in the class, and it might be difficult to make friends, especially like if you're not the kind of like person who's like very sociable. So yeah,
Bit
slowly
distressing.
forming,
Yeah.
so like slowly forming close friendships is like, it's a very nice feeling, and then you know that there's people there for you to trust, and that they will like support you lah.
Which is really helpful to one, honestly.
Actually, I do have another point that I want to bring up.
Oh, you
That
wanna say it?
I think during that period of time, I've thought about what I wish that people would do for me.
Mm.
And actually now that's why I'm doing it for others.
Right? You
I
do
know,
do to others what you want to do unto yourself. Wait,
yeah,
what you want others to do for you, yeah.
yeah, like back then, I really wish that someone would really just ask me whether I was okay or just talk to me and stuff. Like it really helped. And like I think I would like to take this opportunity to thank my friends.
Mm.
Like I won't deny that I have friends. Okay. Back in secondary school. Like it sounds very contradicting, but over the years it just for the friendship just made. Yeah. And I'm very thankful for them. But back then, I really wish that there was someone that could approach me or like care about like just make me not feel alone. And what they can do is just really just to check up on me. And you don't have to talk to me daily. Just talk to me, understand what I'm going through. Yeah,
Sometimes we just like need that one person to like
you just really need that one
who
person.
like listen
Yeah,
to us, right?
yeah. A listening ear can go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Listening ear can go a very long way.
So do you have any, final
I would like to
advice?
thank um my friends
Mm-hmm.
Charmaine, Janelle, yes, and a lot of others. Should I just name them all?
Sure.
That will take very long. But okay, special mentions. Okay, I'll just talk about the ones in class. I'm so sorry. Yes, because honestly, right, after going through such a unfortunate event like this part of my life, right, it was a very drastic change. And sometimes I get very surprised that there was such a change that, oh, I have friends. And just today,
Mm-hmm.
um, big shout out to Charmaine for wiping my tears, um, to Janelle for holding the tissue, and Rochelle for petting me.
I thought Shami was also petting you.
No, but she was wiping my tears like the main task and providing solid advice. And I actually felt way better, very grateful. It's so cringe to say out loud, but 这是真心的, yes. And honestly, um, the I mean JC, right, the journey has never been easy, but honestly without these people in my life, I don't think I would have hang in there for so long. Yes. So the main point is a good support system is a good thing.
Wonderful advice.
So please reach out to the people. Yes. Reach out to people. Oh,
Nigel, Cheryl, any final advices?
this is so embarrassing.
um, I think just having like people that you can trust is um yeah, it's good.
Nigel?
Uh, just as Nui said, just be a listen. Yeah, you you don't necessarily have to be full-blown therapist or whatever. Just having knowledge that someone out there is willing to just know about your problem, really very comforting.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to end off with this note. We are not in any way professionals, and all of this is our own personal experience and opinion. So, if you do experience any symptoms of mental health, please do seek a professional. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast. Hope you enjoyed your stay here. Remember to catch our next episode where we continue talking about your state of mind. See you there. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.